Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today we are at the first IONNA Rechargery site in Maryland, here in Middletown. Let's get into it. That's right, everybody. We're here in Middletown, Maryland at the first IONNA Rechargery site, and it is so exciting to finally have this charge point operator join us in Maryland. So what I'm going to do is walk everyone around, show you the site, point out some of my concerns, plug in, charge, and then we'll call it a video. So let's go ahead, flip the camera around, and check this site out. All right, everybody, here we are at this IONNA site. As you can see, we have the wonderful canopy here that keeps everything shaded, as you can see, for the most part, although the units are getting a little sun because of where the sun is, but that's fine. No IONNA logo on the canopy yet, but I'm sure that will be coming soon. And now let's start looking at the site itself. So here we have the accessible spots. You can see they're very big. You got the accessible aisle there, but I want to point out a couple things. I am a little concerned that maybe if a vehicle that parks in this spot needs to park a little bit in the access aisle so that the cable can reach their charge port, and maybe if someone here has to park over so it reaches their charge port, it could potentially block the access aisle enough where they wouldn't be able to get over here to the lowered portion. I wish they had kind of had a much larger lower portion. I'm not exactly sure what the code is, whether like that was like the minimum, but it would have been nicer if it was much bigger so the people in accessible vehicles could have access from either side. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure those people will know how to park properly so that they're able to access the charger, but I did want to point that out. I thought it was a little bit interesting. So now I want to walk over here and show something else I just find very interesting. Is they decided to have the parking lines go just to the left of the charger. And I went back, I looked at the plans for the site. This site is exactly as planned. It's how they wanted it. And I went back and looked at other sites, and this is the only site where they have it to this side. All the other ones, it is kind of like right dead center for the most part of the charger, which makes it easy for the cable to reach the cars for the most part. And what I'm thinking is, for me, since I, with my car, generally need to use this charger on the right, the handle on the right, I am gonna have the issue where the cable is gonna drape on my car, which is really not a great experience for people. Now me, do I want my car getting damaged? No. Does me draping the cable, is it gonna ruin my day? No. But are there people who will have to park in a different way so it doesn't? Absolutely. Maybe I could pull back a little bit to avoid that. I don't know, but you know, I'm just bringing up some concerns because I tend to like to pull as far forward just in case of any other issues, someone like hitting me in the rear or something like that. So let me go ahead and plug in, and I'm going to show everybody kind of what I mean, what's going to happen. So I have plug and charge. So grab this cable, and I'm going to try and be as gentle as possible. So first off, I got to pull it over the bollard, just in case anyone leaves it on that side. And then I have to pull it out. It's a little bit harder now because I'm not in good position. It hit my trunk. Now it's rubbing against my car. I'm going to show you all where that's what would happen to most people if they pull this far forward. Now again, yes, I can pull backwards. I know people are going to say that in the comments. All right, and then here it is, and it's draping on my car, which is not desirable. And that really just comes down, for the most part, the site design. So that line should have been over a little bit more. It would have avoided it a little bit. I really don't remember this happening at other sites. So I'm just mentioning stuff I see, everybody. So here's a new screen, preparing to charge. It doesn't say press to start charge or whatever, or accept charge. It just goes like that. I never really liked the interface before, and now we're charging. GM and some other brands have plug and charge. That worked really nicely. So there's that. We're ramping up. We're not going to get very good speeds here because I'm at a higher state of charge and I did not precondition. It might spike up to 150 and then walk back down. But there it is. I love this screen for people who want it. For people who don't, this screen's meant for you. Look at that. Yep, so that's fine. So going to charging detail, there it is. And then cost detail. Looks like they did adjust this a little bit. If memory serves me right, I thought it was stacked up on top of each other. Here they kind of spread it out, made it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit better experience for people to read. So there is that, and there are my concerns. Now, as to why, at least for this layout, they ended up moving the line over, let me show you all my thought is because of this charger over here and the spots, they're 10-foot spots. I'm pretty sure that's what the plan said. So when you go 10 foot over, this is where the line needs to be. And you know, they could have just moved the charger over and it would have been fine, but they would have had to move all the chargers over in their plan. And then I don't know if there would have been enough access aisle for the handicap spot or the handicap accessible spot. That's my thought as to kind of why this played out the way it did. And so that's why they had to bump everything over. Unfortunately, I think that is going to create a little bit less of a good user experience. It's not the end of the world, like I said. I'm not trying to like dramatize and say this is the worst IONNA Rechargery in the world. That's not true at all. It's just that seems like that little plan caused this to happen. Now, if you do see, and I already mentioned this, I probably could have parked over a little bit, and that would have reduced the cable being on the car a little bit, but I'm not sure about how much. Maybe later in the video, I'll just repark and I'll see what it would look like. I'll also try pulling backwards a little bit just to see if it happens. Just so if you come to a site like this, or you come to this site, you know, okay, maybe I shouldn't pull as far forward if I really care about my paint job. All right, everybody, so I reparked, I centered myself. Now, again, I prefer to park closer, but it is what it is. This is fine. So there's that. And then this is where I am about the back of the spot. Just for transparency, I did do it where I backed all the way to like right here where the white line is, and it did not touch my car. But again, I feel like most people aren't gonna do that or know to do that when they pull into a spot, and most people are gonna wanna pull all the way up to the front and not have to readjust their car. But here's where maybe someone would park. Again, I think most people are gonna park closer, and it's still touching my car. So I don't remember this happening when the line was over a couple feet, so not sure why this decision was made other than to make sure there was enough access aisle down there for the accessible spot. All right, everyone, so I'm gonna demonstrate. I reparked my car to where if the line was right in the middle of the charger, and let me show you all what happened. So I pull the cable out. Oh, now that did hit my car because I pulled too hard. But put this here, it's still touching my car, but right there it's not. And then actually if you kind of drape it over the bollard a little bit, it's not touching my car. Or if you don't pull it as hard, there we go. Just don't pull as hard and it's not touching my car as all. If you pull it, then it'll hit your car. Sorry, car, I didn't mean to do that. So there's, let it go back a little bit. And then there we go, not touching the car. Probably how things should have been. Let me pick up the camera and show everybody the scene. So again, the line should probably have been right in the middle of the charger. This is how I parked to demonstrate for you all. And basically the EV charging only sign, I acted like that was the middle of the spot, and that worked out nicely for me. So there is that. Just an interesting choice, not the end of the world, but be aware if you come to either this site or another site where the cable could hit your car. Again, for me, I don't care that much, but others, it might be a huge deal. So as far as amenities go, over here, it's hard to tell because there's no signage, but that is a CVS. So if you need to get a prescription or get some stuff, or you're dropping off a prescription, which I don't know if people do that anymore, most people probably call them in, but you could come, you could charge, go do all that, come back, and then you'd be good to go. And then over here, which is this is one of the really strong points of this location, is that it has a Cinco de Mayo. This is a really great Mexican restaurant. I think it started in the county I live in Maryland. I might be making that up, but I know that we definitely had one of the earlier ones. And then it spread, so it's very good. Then we have Fratelli's. I'm pretty sure Fratelli's started in my hometown, but also could be making that up. I know that my hometown that I grew up in, not that I live in now, had one of the first Fratelli's. And then there's a Baskin Robbins next to that. Oh, let me fix that, there we go. There's a Baskin Robbins, next to it is a Dunkin', and then there's a barbecue place. I'm actually gonna go get lunch at the barbecue place. And then next to the barbecue place is a Jimmy John's. So really good food amenities. And there's also a, I forget which it is, some sort of tax place. So if you need to get your taxes done, you can do that too while you're here. But yeah, pretty good spot. And let me go back out here. They actually have a dog waste disposal station. Looks like there's some bags in there. Yep. Not sure who's gonna take care of that, but there it is, what the agreement is. And then some grass. Obviously, they just threw down some stuff here, so not complete. And they put in some shrubberies, and so that'll kind of hide this a little bit. But yeah, it's a pretty nice location. Definitely nice to come to. All right, so now I'm just gonna talk about a little bit of an issue with this site, at least for me. So it's close to 70. So everybody knows 70, it goes all the way to Utah. And this would ideally be a great spot for people to stop at. The problem is, if you're traveling westbound, it's a little tricky to get back to westbound. It's not impossible, but you can't just go back to 70. You actually have to go back roads and then get back to 70. Is it the end of the world? No. Is it ideal? Also no. Additionally, this site is 3 miles, maybe a little bit more. I'll double check. I did measure it. About 3 miles from 70, which is just really not ideal when it comes to travel. So I'm not sure if IONNA had this more planned as a local rechargery. If it did, it's a wonderful local rechargery. You can go get an awesome meal somewhere, charge, and things are gonna be great. I'm not sure what the electric car deal is here in Middletown. People in Frederick County tend to commute into DC, so it's actually very likely that there is a pretty good population of EV drivers here. I'm looking at a Tesla parked over there, someone who works at the CVS. So there's definitely EVs around here, but yeah, I don't know. So maybe this was targeted as more of a local rechargery. Now down the road, I forget exactly how many miles, maybe like 10 miles, 15 miles, there is one in Newmarket, Maryland, and that is gonna be the ideal travel one. So if you're coming back home from 70 to Maryland and you're driving, and that's the one, my final charging stop before I go home, so we're filled up, ready to go in the morning, that's gonna be the great spot. And that's gonna be the one, honestly, we're gonna frequent, because it's, when we're coming home from 70, it's on the way to our house. So we'll stop there, charge up if we need to, just so we can get home and plug in, because it will ultimately be cheaper for us to plug in at home. So again, this is a nice site. I just pointed out some weird things I've never noticed at IONNA, and I'm not sure as to why they made those decisions. All right, everybody, so that's it. That's all I have here about the first IONNA Rechargery here in Maryland. It's a nice spot, got a couple issues here and there, but I think it's gonna serve at least the community of Middletown, Maryland well, and maybe anyone who's traveling eastbound on I-70 so that they can recharge, even though it's a little bit off the road. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you all next time.